Time to hit the road again. After a couple of months while I've been stuck at home to work on some other projects I had to take care of, I became more and more impatient to go out somewhere in the wilderness, or at least to somewhere else closer to nature. And this time I chose the village of Kostenets, tucked right at the foot of the mountain of Rila, just an hour of drive from Sofia. So this behind me is the hotel where I'll stay for a couple of nights. This shall be my room. Well, yeah, that looks nice. The classical trick. A vlogger who enters in the room pretending he's never been inside before to put the camera in. And the view towards the mountain. And I managed to make a mess straight away. Nothing better than a cup of tea in a late afternoon. Even more, my cup of tea is very thematic. If you can see, it writes out of office. It's a mug which is a gift from my daughter. And alright, I'm now here in Kostenets, and the idea is, after my cup of tea, to go out and to take a look of the village, and then to return here to get a good sleep this night, because tomorrow I'll try to reach 2 waterfalls in this area, but we will see how it will turn. Now the village itself is nice, a typical Bulgarian village. It has a pretty center with a square with some water cascades, some Easter decorations still hanging around, and plenty of flowers. There's also a tiny, funny-looking decorative house that's part of a fountain, though the fountain itself wasn't working, but never mind. The charm is still there. And basically, this is it. The real magic, though, isn't in the center of the village. It's just outside, where I stayed in a forested area dotted with villas, tiny hotels and summer houses hidden among the trees. And the nature in the entire surroundings is gorgeous. The moment you arrive, you are greeted by fresh mountain air, bird songs and the gentle rustle of leaves. It's the kind of a place that instantly makes you slow down and just breathe. With some mineral springs in the vicinity, the place started to gain popularity from the late 1800s. In the beginning of the 20th century, even one of the renowned Bulgarian poets had his own villa here. I can't tell which one it was, nor if it is still intact, but anyway, many other writers and poets were coming to visit him in the summer, and thus was created a literary circle called Misl, which means thought in Bulgarian. Another interesting thing is that in the vicinity there is the Kostenets Waterfall that inspired some of the poets to often come here. And here is a fountain with mineral water with a sculpture of a mountain goat on top of it, as a wooden sign with 2 verses from a poem dedicated to the Kostenets Waterfall, which revealed to be just at the end of the village. Well, honestly, I thought the waterfall would be much further away and that I'd have to hike tomorrow to get to it, but, well, here it is. There are some stone walks with wooden railings and a stone bridge crossing the stream, and several spots to stop and take in the view. There's even a small artificial pond which adds to the peaceful feel of the place. And just above it you can find the waterfall itself. Not a huge or dramatic one, not at all, but it's seriously beautiful in its own way. It flows through a narrow rocky crevice, and if you stand close enough, you can feel the mist in the air. There is some magic at this place. You won't tell, but the air here is damp from the tiny droplets dispersed by the waterfall. Everything is covered in a layer of lush green moss, as it's easy to see why the poets were drawn to it. So this is the famous waterfall of Kostenets, which is not something big, but it's interesting, and you can see how many visitors it has every single day. Besides that, I thought it was much more further from the village of Kostenets, and it revealed that it is just at the end of it. Anyway, I think that tomorrow, going for a hike to the two waterfalls, this one and the other one, I'll go through it again, but it will be for tomorrow. For the moment, I'll return to the village to see if I'll be able to find something else. And I found that this thing right here is a bunch of information about all the landmarks in the vicinity, and this is, well, the other waterfall that I would like to reach tomorrow. It is 5 kilometers from here, which means probably 1 hour, maybe a little bit more, of walk. Just a little further on, between the trees, you'll come across a few more hotels as this one. It looks cozy with its restaurant terrace, perfect for a quiet meal, a view over an artificial lake, and a colorful gazebo. And it's rare that you could see an anchor in the middle of the mountain. And here is another one with outdoor pools. But like many places in Bulgaria, there's a mix of old and new here. Some of the houses from the beginning of the 20th century, with their old architectural style, sadly look a bit abandoned. And then next to them you see modern buildings which feel a bit out of place. It creates this strange kind of contrast, like the village is somewhere between the past and present, trying to hold on to its charm. Anyway, it gets dark and it's time for me to get back to my hotel. I like that trick. So this was it for the first day in Kostenets village. There were some interesting buildings, some interesting hotels, but nothing too fancy. We will see tomorrow how it will be with that hike to the waterfall I intend to reach and to visit. Now I'm going to bed.